3, let's go. Welcome to the Balcony AUX Chord podcast. Let's go. Balcony AUX Chord. Balcony AUX Chord.
Welcome back to the Balcony AUX Chord podcast. You're back again with me, Mark, and a Findi. Your
up?
two favorite Thai boys.
I'm not sure about that, bro.
We're not even your favorite Thais.
We're not even your favorite anything.
That's no.
That's fucking unfortunate.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Well, you're back again on the Balcony AUX Chord podcast. We're the podcast where we're trying to extend the music circle, extend the discussion circle online with our friends at least, and we're trying to. Findi just choked on his coffee because that was too funny.
I'm not sure about that either, bro.
No, but we're the podcast that is like the inception of this podcast was on the balcony of my apartment back in university, where we used to have weekly cat sessions. Where we, sit on the balcony, talk about life, talk about
session nights.
Talk about boys? All right.
Talk about boys. That's the thing.
No, but we'd look out into the world and then listen to music, nerd out a bit to music, and just talk about anything we wanted to. Anything was that kind of came into our life, or it's something on our mind. With that said, Findi, how are you? And
what's on my mind?
Yeah, how are you? And what's on
my mind? I don't know, man. Today's an alright day. Did you just fucking flex the fucking thing? Alright, okay.
I was stretching my back, by the way. I wasn't intentional.
You were just doing this, and then you looked into your recording thing.
No, I was looking at my shoulders.
Oh, okay, cool. So, man, today's a Monday. I had a pretty good day. I've been trying to fix my sleep schedule because that's been a little fucked. Mm-hmm. So I actually woke up at 10, which is not bad. I usually wake up earlier to do podcasts, but then I'd go back to sleep again and then waste the day anyways.
Right. So every time you tell me that you're gonna go gym, you just sleep, motherfucker.
Yeah, most of the time I go gym and then I come back home and then take a nap, or I nap and then I go gym. Depends on the mood.
At least you go gym.
But the shitty part about that is that the sun sets at 4:30 here. Mm-hmm. So basically, if you wake up late or if you take a nap or whatever, that's it. It's nighttime. Right. So it's kind of shitty. But today I woke up at 10. And then I went to the gym. First thing I did was
productive.
I went to the gym. Yeah, and then I had lunch with my friend, with my ex actually.
Indoors, outdoors?
Indoors.
Oh, at her place, or at a restaurant?
No.
Restaurants
at a
open
restaurant.
For dining? Nice.
So British Columbia is lockdown, but not really lockdown. Mm-hmm. So we people still hang out with their close circles of people, and then we can go outside. Technically we're not allowed to, but everyone does it. Yeah, and then I did that. And nothing, man. I just came home, read the news, chilled. I don't know
the news.
The news. What about you? How was your? You just woke up. It's a
Tuesday, we were changing
morning.
Our schedule a little bit in terms of recording time. And I just woke up on this side, and it's been hectic on my side. I have a lot of work. I have an exam on Thursday. Trying to study as well as finish off work that I have assigned from other sources in my life, other places in my life, and trying to juggle everything, which is pretty hard. Plus procrastinating and recovering from New Year mentality, which is still you're recovering from the holiday season, right? Where you're not doing anything and you're not being productive. So I'm still recovering from that, I think, in some ways. But overall, it's all right. I'm just
busy.
Tired.
Busy.
Yeah,
still.
just busy.
Yeah.
Just busy, man. I don't know, bro. What? The only thing that's kind of on my mind
Let's just do this the whole podcast. Okay, what's on your mind? What's the only thing that's been on your mind?
Trump and the everything that happened at the Capitol, which is fucking wild.
I think it was fun. It was so fun to watch that shit.
This morning, last night, there was like impeachment, it passed by Democrats.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, shit's getting wild.
Shit's getting wild. With 11, how many days left? He has like 11 days left, doesn't he?
Literally,
there's like 9 days left, bro.
Yeah, I think
he has like a weekend of day.
I want him to get impeached just for the shits of it.
Nah.
Gets impeached on the last day,
symbolic,
just for shit,
bro.
you know?
Just so that he can't get his like pension or whatever. That'd be so funny. It's like, motherfucker is like a president. And I know he doesn't need one, but it's just funny. You know what I mean? Like, you fucked up so bad that this guy, motherfucker, has 9 days left, gets fucking impeached.
Yeah.
Like, that's wild.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's like as a person not from the States, I feel it's pretty funny. Like, I enjoyed all the memes talking about how America's seeing a U.S.-led coup for the first time. Like, they're experiencing a U.S.-led coup for the first time, whereas everyone on Earth has experienced that. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's pretty funny.
That's pretty funny.
I mean, like, just photos from that day. Like, I woke up, and the first thing I saw was, like, just, like, that guy in horns.
The barbarian.
And then the guy who was stealing the podium.
Speaker.
I'm like, what? What the fuck's happening?
It's so funny, dude. It's
chaos.
So funny.
Yeah, no, it's fucked. Like, that country is like right now, like socially, like it's broken. And to be honest, like there is one side to kind of like sympathize with the I don't want to use protesters, terrorists,
riders.
the alleged coup.
Yeah.
Coup perpetrators. But right now they're being outcasted by their own community. Like they were brainwashed by this one dude, right? And then this dude literally comes out after, and he's like, "Nah, man, go home. You're fucked."
Yeah.
Like, you're fucked. And then your own people in the far right start calling you fucking far left. Like, fuck.
Oh my god.
They're like, you guys are fucking Antifa. You guys are like, you're like, you know, like how like BLM, like you remember that during that movement there was like there's cops,
anti-fascist,
yeah, the instigators of like violence and stuff like that. Like it's basically the same kind of mentality in terms of like, oh yeah, there's like people within there who are like making us look bad, man. And I'm like, and then these guys who went because like this like brainwashing that Trump has been causing, right? Like he's the source of this brainwashing. They're being outcasted now. I mean, like I don't give to be honest, I don't give a shit because they seem like bad people. but
they're just dumb people, man.
I can see another side of how people like it is shitty for a certain group of people who like felt super committed to something, and then they were boom, you're like, no, you're not. These, like, it's fucked. Like, I feel bad a little bit. I
feel bad obviously for like the people who died.
Oh yeah,
like
obviously.
that's fucked. Like nobody should have to die.
Yeah.
Like that, like on both sides, like the cops or whatever. It's fucked, right? But I don't know, man. Like it's kind of funny. And what happened? How did they were so unprepared, like security wise for that to happen. Yeah. Oh, like were they not anticipating it, or? But no, it could be like
I literally think it's because of white privilege, though. Like I think it is like
no. That's definitely it. It's
Like, I definitely think I don't think it's a conspiracy. I don't think anyone let them in to make it like a thing. Really? But I do think it's they didn't prepare themselves because they didn't think white people would do this. to be honest with you, like they like because like there's no social bias against white people in America at least to do that.
Bro.
But if BLM goes to the Capitol, everyone's like, these guys will fucking come
when
in.
they were
They were
protesting on was it Virginia Avenue? What's that road called? The
Avenue.
main Pennsylvania Avenue. They were fucking like, like with like
their guns. Yeah, it's crazy.
With like automatic shit like that.
Exactly.
And then these guys, they didn't have pepper spray, bro. They didn't have like masks. Like if you watch the videos, the cops had to take turns putting on face masks because they didn't have enough masks for the cops. Because it's like, that's so funny.
Yeah.
But anyways,
yeah, and then like some white dude brought in the fucking rifle into the Capitol building, and I'm like, how the fuck, like, what's happening right now?
What, like, how did you think that was a good idea?
Yeah, like what? Like America's wild, man.
Don't bring it. Just bring a Confederate flag or something. They
did.
Like, don't. Yeah, they did. But like, why would you like if you had to leave the house, I'd pick the flag over the gun. Like it's even a better look. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Imagine being told to do something by the president, and then after that incident, the president calls you a terrorist.
You guys are dumb. Yeah, you're a fucking idiot.
He's done,
man.
And I like how Mike Pence is just like, fuck y'all. Like I want more money as a politician, so fuck y'all. I'm gonna continue being.
Dude. Like honestly, every like normal, every like
career
Republican.
Politician.
Like career politician they're probably regretting 2016 so much when they chose Trump.
I mean,
like, what do you think it means for like the legitimacy of the Republican Party? Like, I feel like they're not as trustworthy anymore. Like for a while, I'm gonna like if I was American, I'd be like, fuck it, I'd never fucking vote for these fucking barbarians storming the Capitol Hill.
I suppose so.
Yeah.
Now I can definitely see. I mean, but Biden won. Like obviously, like that has already the resulting effect of it is that Biden won.
But he won like public opinion as well. Low-key,
Sure. I wouldn't be surprised if he got 2 terms unless something happened to him personally because he's an old dude.
Bro, he's like.
Is
he 90?
He's like 70 something, like nearly 80.
Oh, that's not bad.
But he, I don't know, man. Like you said, I feel like Trump is a turning point in American history in a negative way. Yeah. Like he dipped it down for sure. Like instead of being like a global leader, they've become like a global joke. Not that it wasn't before. Not that it wasn't before, but it now amplifies that message even more.
Now they actually look like actual jokes. Before they look like, bro, like you ever seen those fucking movies where like they're protecting the president in the White House and there's like a terrorist attack on the White House. Yeah. Bro, these motherfuckers were carrying like spears and flags and they broke into the building. Like America looks like such a fucking
literally
joke.
One of the most important buildings in the country.
It is the most important. It's where their countries run. Like motherfuckers just walked in.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
It's crazy. Like I don't get why like they didn't act sooner. I think it's because like there wasn't clear like presidential orders. Maybe that slowed things down. I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
But like
should I listen to the president or should I,
Yeah. Well. But I was talking to some American friends of mine, and like they're just like, "Yeah, man, let's not talk about it. It's embarrassing."
It's fucked.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
But it's funny. It's good. Good entertainment. Honestly.
Yeah, cause I think it's entertaining because we're not American. It might be a little scary and sad if we were American, but I mean, it is scary and sad that this is happening in the world. But I know, like, as like someone who's not associated with America and like a victim of American, like hegemony,
oppression,
oppression. Yeah, I was pretty funny.
It was pretty funny. It was pretty funny.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But what else? What else apart from you just fucking went all out on American? What else has been happening? What else has been occupying your fucking headspace lately? Apart from you just like your paper or something.
Yeah, I've been writing a lot of papers, man. So I don't have
Really?
a lot of other headspace to provide.
So you just
it's only
think
been a
about your
week since
paper?
last week, so it's been papers for me. So I
It's
can't
been
really
papers
talk
for you?
much except for the news, I think. Other than that, like there's like Thai politics, which is like ridiculous as well. Like I'm like,
Yeah.
like fucking what's happening right now?
Yeah, I
like,
know.
like straight
I know.
up, there's like this Thai politician, this lady who like straight up called a celebrity autistic, like as an insult.
Is she like an MP? Like what is she?
Yeah, she's an MP, dude, and then
She's an elected government
she's
person.
elected. Yeah.
Oh god. And she called someone for what?
So
they, like, doing
the
this and she's
celebrity,
like-
no, the celebrity was calling out the prime minister for being like, hey, like you can't lock down again because like most people can't afford living on a lockdown like wages, basically, right? Like they will die.
Okay. And so she called this person autistic.
Yeah, basically. like what the fuck? Like how does that equate to calling
so
a
funny.
celebrity? First of all, so like she knew this was gonna get
Yeah.
into the news, and
Yeah.
and like, I'm like, why? In what world is
This
this
is
okay?
So
So
what
the
I think,
celebrity
man.
responded by going to like the National Association for like disabled and like autistic mentally disabled for them to go sign a petition or like a letter to like be like, yo, this MP's fucked. And I agree that I think that was the perfect move to do.
That's so
to
funny.
legitimize your stance, right? But this MP's fucked.
Oh my
and she has a bad
God.
track record. Like, to be honest with you, like her
What party is she from?
she's from the Prime Minister's party, so Palang Pantala. but the thing is, like, I think she exists in order to pull attention
That's
away
lit.
from the policies itself,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah,
to
yeah,
pull
yeah,
attention
yeah.
away from the actual shady shit behind the scenes.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah,
people
yeah,
like
yeah.
sensationalist kind of news, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
It's pretty fun.
That's so funny.
yeah,
So that's what's happening in Thai politics.
yeah. These two things have been on my mind, and
Yeah.
I just wanted to maybe like mention it, but I went to PK. PK is a friend of the podcast. He was on episode
Oh, he's
9,
a
10 or something.
photographer.
Yeah,
The
he
photography
has a
thing, right?
gallery/art show right now in Bangkok.
That's
old
sick.
Bangkok. And
That's sick.
I went last Friday to check it out and support my friend. And his process is quite interesting. So he puts a camera on tripod, right? And he interviews you, and not recording you, but it's like a film camera. So it's like a 120 medium format kind of film. And then he interviews you and like talks to you about like hope and like what's on your mind and what's happening in your life, so that he can capture the candid moments while you talk, and he'll be like, yeah, haha, snap, haha, snap, or something. And that's his like method of like getting the hope, I guess. Like his whole thing is Hope Factory. Like the title of his gallery is Hope Factory. So he's trying to get those.
That's so sick.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And the
pretty
whole
sick.
time I felt like I sat in on someone else's, like some stranger talking to him about it, and it was like very surface, like not surface, but very like basic. I don't know. Fuck. I don't know what to use. They were talking about like music and stuff like that, and they were like, and it was like, you know, when two people they're not that close, and you just agree to each other a lot. Yeah. For example, you'd be like, yeah, like I love Neo or something. I love R&B.
You're like,
I'm
yeah.
like, yo, I love
yeah.
R&B too. It's so great. Yeah, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
blah. So it was like that conversation, right? Like I was just listening, and I was like, okay, like I can see how he can get a smile out of that, but to me, like that doesn't feel like a connection.
How long are these
Depends.
conversations?
It depends.
Usually?
I think for strangers, it's like 15 minutes. But if it's like someone he knows, like he'll just talk. Or it depends on like the schedule too, because like there's like
That's such a cool like
idea.
method. Yeah, it's such a sick idea.
Yeah, and
so he's done it. Is there like a limit on number of people that he wants to include in his project, or is it just like an open thing?
Open thing for like,
and you just go chill with him.
Basically,
sick.
Yeah.
What
and
the fuck?
The only thing we talked about was politics.
Really?
And basically, what I just talked to you
Is
about.
he allowed? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, because it's just photos. It's not recorded.
Yeah. It's,
Yeah.
And it was fun, and like I mean like. I'm sure he didn't expect it too, because he was like,
yeah.
What's on your mind? What brings you joy? I'm like, nothing brings me joy now.
Nothing brings you joy. Nah, man, music still brings you joy.
Music does, but I didn't want to talk about it. I mean, like I already have a podcast that does talk about it. That's
you don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be all that's you're about, right?
Yeah. So, I mean. That was
so you just talk shit about this MP calling celebrity.
Dude, this MP's so dumb, man. Like I hate her so much. Like I hope her like constituency like realizes their mistake and is like embarrassed like nationally that they as like a province chose this lady to be part of the government, because she has no credibility whatsoever. Like she has like nothing under her belt. her dad's just rich and has power in the province. That's it.
That's a lot of the country, though. You know what I mean?
I mean, we know
that's a lot. The, like,
we know a lot of people.
Yeah, as a lot of the country is just like handed down like credibility or like wealth, and it's just that. It's like,
yeah. What's on your mind, Findi?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, what is on my mind? I'm in this phase. I think I've already talked about this probably a couple of times, but I'm in this phase where I'm trying to sort of like sort myself out before like like going off into the workforce or like going back to school again and stuff like that. So there's been a lot of just like self-reflection.
Sure. Spending
a lot of time by myself in this room actually. Yeah.
All right. What the fuck?
No. I don't know. Yeah, this is like a lot of self-reflection, a lot of and it's always like this. And but recently what's sort of like entering my like headspace a lot is the idea of like the self. This is gonna get super annoyingly philosophical, so I'm not sure if I want to fully get into it, but basically
go for
it's
it,
just
but
like,
I'll make fun of you.
Yeah, basically it's just like no, it's fine. We've been doing this since like we were kids. Like this is just the dynamic, you know what I mean? Dynamic. Yeah, but basically it's just like I was trying to figure out like what is me and what is the self. Because I feel like exactly
supposed to be Disney Channel.
That was very bad. That was terrible. That was terrible. No, but it was just figuring out like because when I'm not like writing papers and shit like that, when I'm not like on the go like you are, I have a lot of time to just sit by myself. So like these thoughts enter my mind of like what am I, like the nature of my identity, like who am I? Like I feel like my life is like fragmented pieces everywhere. And I think it has something to do with the way I grew up as well, like moving around, living in one place, moving to another place, being like religiously and ethnically different anywhere I go. And then when I go back to people who are like religiously and ethnically the same as me, I'm culturally and morally very different from them. So it's always sort of like I just feel like bits and pieces that like make a whole. But then now that I have a lot more time to sit with myself and think about these things, it's more confusing.
Right.
I feel like I put on sort of like an identity or a mask or a veil in
I
front
mean, you should be
of,
wearing a
like-
mask.
Yes. Exhibit A. Always around. Come on, let's talk like this for the rest of the podcast now.
All right. Yeah, thanks. I don't want you to infect me.
Yeah.
I don't want you to.
Let's talk about like this.
You don't want Findi germs?
No, I don't want Findi germs.
But yeah, man, like that's what I've been thinking about a lot. And but being alone a lot also helps with that, because you know, when you're left by yourself, you're not putting up any mask. You're not pretending to be anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not like sort of like putting on like a personality or whatever for people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a good time to like learn about yourself
Sure.
and stuff like that, you know.
You know what? What I would say, or I add to that, is that I think everyone feels a little fragmented in many ways, and once you start thinking about it, like everyone is fragmented, full stop.
Yes.
And I don't think it's a bad thing. I think similar to what the Canadians like to say, it's kind of like a cultural mosaic. Like we are a mosaic of ourselves, and and I feel like, just think about it, right? Like when you're around different friends and different groups of family members, you're a different identity.
You're a different identity.
Yeah,
exactly.
like whenever I'm back with you guys, my bachelor undergrad friends, I act a particular way, which is different
Bachelor,
with my
undergrad friends.
with my graduate friends right now.
Yeah.
It's like a
'Cause
whole
they're,
different
like-
dynamic. And then now, and then if I go back to high school, that'll be a whole different dynamic. Like it'll be
No,
a
I
different
know.
kind of mark. And then within those subsets of friendships, then there'll be differences,
Yeah.
right? So I think
Exactly.
we're all fragmented in many different ways, and I don't think it's a bad thing that you think it is, and you're finding it's like a problem. But I don't think it is a problem. I think it's just like realizing that these fragments kind of make you more whole, if that makes any sense.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like the mosaic metaphor. Like without different elements or different fragments, it doesn't make you a better image. You know, because if you're just one dimensional, that's boring. I mean, a little.
That is.
Yeah, I think so, right? Like, I feel like if you're like the same across the board, I feel like.
Yeah.
First of
Yeah,
all, you wouldn't
like
have a lot of
having-
friends.
Like having
Yeah.
having depth to your character.
Exactly.
In general, it just makes you a more attractive person to be around. I think, right? Like there's many layers
Yeah.
to you, and that's like
like
what
when,
makes
when you go home and you're around your ethnically similar, linguistically similar family,
religiously similar.
religiously similar, you act a particular way, right? But that informs your understanding of a particular subculture, right?
Exactly.
That informs your understanding of a particular like context, and I feel like that's valuable, because not a lot of people can say that. Like
Definitely.
and maybe like just to talk about it a little bit, like I don't like it when Asians stick to just Asian friends, and that pisses me off, because like I'm like, why don't you like expand your bubble a little bit? Like there's there's so many things you can learn from like white friends, brown friends, black friends, you know. And then like everyone has like a different take on like life, and I feel like as an Asian person, like I see a lot of Thais hanging out with just Thais. I see a lot of like Chinese kids hanging out with just Chinese kids, and I feel like it's concerning in one way.
Really?
Yeah, because I do subscribe to what I was saying before, and how like your fragmented life informs who you are, and being just one dimensional, only committed to one group, committed to one friend circle, that's, I think, problematic, because you become you only understand the world from one dimension, or one
Dimension.
one-sided understanding of the world. And I think to some extent, it might be good in terms of like you're tight with your friends, whatever, right?
Yes.
Like you're super tight with your friends.
Yeah.
But then again, your friendship circle as a whole is like a bubble, and then like you're fucked. Like once anything kind of like threatens it, whether you think it is a threat or not, like you kind of react negatively to it, like very much so.
Yeah.
Like imagine like a far right friendship group, right, or some shit, right? And then like anything that penetrates that, like they would just like be like, you fucking Antifa, you fucking left wing socialist, like anything, whatever it is. It can be just like, you know, like I go eat at this Chinese restaurant, and they're like, oh, you fucking left wing, like what the fuck, like something like that, right? Like you just like you get branded as something completely different. Yeah. And I feel like that isn't great, man. Like
it's not to be branded as anything isn't good.
Yeah.
That at least that's it's not the conclusion I came up with, but it's just something that I've thought about, right?
Yeah.
Like to be put into a category, to be put into a category. But the flip side of that is that like as people, as humans, we need to have sort of this like we need to have some sort of framework to sort of put ourselves in, right? So it's like I think there's some kind of tension between being like flexible, being adaptable, but also having a certain identity that you can having something that you can be labeled as or be or subscribe to. Right? It could be like political, like your political views, right? You know what I mean? Like, okay, we could go to school and learn about all the fucking different things. You could be a libertarian. You could be there's so many types of shit. But at the end of the day, sometimes people like to label themselves.
for sure, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Do you like labeling yourself?
I struggle with it.
I think people like you were talking about, it gives them a sense of stability to have a
For sure.
descriptor for themselves.
Yeah.
Like I'm Thai, and that gives me security in terms of like understanding that I'm part of a group. Us versus them.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I speak this language. I grew up eating lukshin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and no. You know what I mean? Like, like for us, for example, like me and you both identify as Thai. And within that, there is some kind of security because I look at you and I know that you've experienced like
similar
going
things,
to get going to get food at 7-Eleven or like ordering lukshin but kin you know, like whatever.
Right. To some extent that is like tribe mentality, right? That's like pretty primitive. I mean, like even okay, that might be a clear descriptor, but like maybe like I might describe myself as sometimes being a music snob or like and like that's kind of a negative tribe that you don't really want to assign yourself to, but like you kind of like have to realize stuff like that, right? And then like it's like not us versus them. Is it us versus them? Like us being like
it's kind of, bro.
so-called music elite.
We're pretty pretentious. Let's just say.
Oh, for sure. We have a podcast about music.
We're so pretentious, bro. People fucking hate us.
For
so
sure.
Funny.
I mean,
I hate us.
At least there's only 10 people that hate us. Because there's only 10 people.
No, there's 9 people that hate us. The other view is just me.
Is you watching it again and again.
Yeah, watching it again and again.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I feel like
it's hard, right? It's I think I'm honestly getting to like, you know, I need to go out and do shit.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think because of COVID, you've it's limited a lot of people, including yourself, from meeting new friends, or like experiencing new groups of friends or groups of whatever, right? And I mean, like for example, you haven't been able to find a job. Because that might have been a new circle for you. Like you would have maybe like you might have performed in a different way. Work of Findi is different from home of Findi for sure. And I feel like because of COVID, it has hindered many people from doing that.
Yeah.
So I do think that COVID has affected society in multiple ways more than others.
But yeah, if you think about it though, like this is at least like what I've been telling myself, or like I've been telling myself to look at it this way, is that like I've always asked for like free time. Like my whole life, I've been like, oh, if only I had more time. You know what I mean? And then for 1 year, time was just thrown at me. Here's all the time. This is just time for you. You have time, free time, and that's it, right? Like what do? You like sit with yourself and you think. I picked up like pretty bad habits. Not gonna lie, but I also picked up like some good habits,
like sucking dick.
I not exactly. I would say this is a pretty bad habit. Like it's something I'm trying to step away from.
Is that a good habit or bad?
I think a comment in the comment sections below. Comment below.
Comment if it's a good or a bad habit.
If it's the purple aubergine, the eggplant emoji means it's a good habit. It's a bad habit. A sad face.
Skull.
Comment a sad face.
Sad face. Okay.
Comment a sad face. Yeah.
Sad face.
I think it's a bad habit. I think I need to stop. I think I've been doing it too much lately.
I mean, you know,
it's not good.
A man's gotta.
It's not good for my
do.
teeth. It's not good for my teeth.
It's corrosive.
It's corrosive. Yeah, it's not good for my jaws either.
Gotta hang out with more Asians then.
Oh man, stop. You told me not to just stick to just Asian people. No. What were we talking about? We were talking about
fragmented identities.
Fragmented, and how COVID is like it's a good time to reflect. I picked up like seriously picked up like meditation, which is new to me because I didn't grow up like Buddhist.
Yeah, how has that been? I think you mentioned it in a couple podcasts or a few podcasts way back.
It's been extremely helpful. I think like mindfulness is like important in like any context, really, because and it's not like you're sitting down, you're forcing yourself, or it's not about like forcing yourself anything, but it's just practicing to like recognize the thoughts and like shit that just pops up throughout the day, and then so basically the guy, the meditation person, like the metaphor that he uses, he's white.
The guru.
No, his name is Andy. It's just Andy. Like his name is he's a motherfucking like British dude called Andy.
Nice.
It's pretty funny. Yeah, but he was just saying how you should picture your mind as like a road. And then the object of meditation is to like take yourself outside. So instead of moving through the road with your thoughts, like you take yourself away from it and you sit on the side of the road and then you observe your thoughts. And the objective isn't to like force yourself not to have a thought or force yourself to have a thought. Yeah. It's recognizing the moving thoughts and like being able to like sort of.
That's pretty cool.
And then, yeah, it's really helpful actually. And so when we recognize these thoughts, it's like whenever a thought comes, right? Like any thought comes, like or emotion or anything that rises up in us, our immediate reaction is to like chase it down. And then that can sometimes land us in a not so useful place. You know, it could cause anxiety, it could cause whatever, but when you're like trained with the trained mind, you can be more mindful. And then when you're more mindful, you recognize this, and then it becomes like easier to deal with, easier to process when you understand like where these thoughts are coming from, and you understand that it's like not that it's temporary and it's not permanent. Yeah. So you're able to like let go more. So if something happens, you're fucking stressed. You're like fucking like stressed out and shit like that. it's not like to meditate. You can't meditate in a distressed state, obviously. But it's like when you're trained, you can sort of like process it better. You can see things more clearly and not be so swayed by like things that aren't predictable or things that just come through at
things
life. Like Fortuna. Like Fortuna.
Fortuna. Damn, I haven't heard that word in so long. Explain to the listeners what Fortuna is, or at least
Are we gonna go Machiavellian on this?
just slightly.
So Machiavelli.
You're not gonna explain.
So Machiavelli had this theory that in order to be like a good leader, you have to sort of know how to deal with unpredicted circumstances that can just get thrown at you. Like he used a metaphor of a river, how like a river is like it just goes, like there's no way you can control the water. So you need to, as a good leader, know how to navigate whatever is thrown your way.
Yeah, that's about it.
That's about it. It's not
Fortuna.
complex. Fortuna.
You can't. Was it like he said like you can't bend Fortuna? Like you cannot.
You can't bend Fortuna. You can't change it.
You can't. Change
You have
it.
to deal with it.
You just have
You have to
deal
adapt to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, what were you
So
saying?
that's like what I think is the purpose of meditation is to
meditation.
train your mind for you to be able to deal with whatever emotion gets thrown your way or whatever negative thoughts or whatever is thrown into your like mind.
For sure.
You just have to sort of like after practicing meditation, you can sort of like navigate it in a more clear way. Yeah, and I think that's super useful.
It is very useful. I mean,
as a Buddhist, what do you think? Like,
I was about to say, like that's basically just like Buddha. Yeah, that's just Buddhism, like in general.
Yeah.
Like letting things go, like being trained or at least like being conditioned in a way that you see things as temporary. A lot of things. I think during my life at university, I came to realize that a lot of things are very much temporary, and I mean, I wouldn't say that it's something new that I you just said, but I do like the metaphor of the road. The road thing is very cool. I think it's a good way of using imagery to maybe like help non-believers kind of like to see like the picture. I don't know what to call them. Non-doers, non-meditators.
Non-meditators.
Taters. Non-meditators. And I think in general it is very it reflects the values of Buddhism, if that makes any sense. But I obviously like it doesn't capture like the karma side of it or anything, which is fine.
It's secular. It's like secular.
This is like very just like self-help kind of thing, which is great. I think I've been trying to push this my whole life basically. I think that Buddhism is a philosophy rather than a religion. It's better off as a philosophy than a religion. I think it should now be rebranded as like a self-help mechanism or like a mental health mechanism for people to cope with their thoughts, anything really, and to understand life better and to understand how things can hurt you, but they in the end they won't really hurt you. Understanding that things will come and go, things are temporary, like that's kind of the essence of Buddhism. And I feel like that message should be translated into different facets of mental health like practice. Because a lot of
I don't agree.
I mean, like, I'm that guy who gets like I go like like it to myself, like when my friends go to like a psychiatrist or whatever. And I think it's because I am Buddhist and like I'm like always like self reflection and like being like it's temporary is like part of my life. Like I don't want to stress it like too much, but like I think it has been a real part of my life, and it kind of it doesn't piss me off, but like I feel like they can save the money and just like maybe like start like a lot of self-reflection. But I think they need guided self-reflection. I think that's what it is.
That's what it is.
But it's just a white person telling you
how to meditate.
Yeah. Basically. Or like you had to get a white person to validate Asian values so that you would believe in it. Like, if that makes any sense at all. Like that pisses me off so much.
That's so interesting that you see it that way. Yeah.
We okay.
I get it.
We have a friend.
I get it.
And she probably will listen to this, but it's okay. She went to a she's Buddhist as well.
She went to a shrink.
She went to a shrink or something or whatever, right? And then she comes back and she's like, "Yeah, that's so useful. Like that's like, you know, like I'm progressing real good." And I'm like, you grew up Buddhist. Like literally whatever everything they're saying is the same thing that the monks have been saying for like 1,000 years. It's just you had to get a white person to validate that this is like science. This is quote unquote science. And I'm like, what? Like what? Like I think that's the thing that pisses me off. Like obviously, if you need help, go get help. I don't invalidate that. I think it's good.
This
that
is just your perspective on it.
You're searching for help. That's great. I just think that it's
there are cheaper ways to do it.
There's a paradoxical.
Basically.
Yeah, there's a paradoxical.
There's a cheaper way to do it.
Understanding of mental health.
Yeah.
Like you had to make it scientific in order for you to get better, and because Buddhism and monks are associated with religion and theocracy and faith and propaganda and everything else, right? But science is like kind of the opposite of that. It's designed that way to be the opposite of religion, and I feel that people subscribe to the scientific method more so. And it pisses me off sometimes. But in general, I mean, as I said,
I get it.
Like if you're getting help, that's great. Like I won't shit on you for that, but it does piss me off sometimes. If you're born a Buddhist, but if you're born white and like you don't have the Buddhist exposure, I get it. Like go to a fucking psychiatrist. What's the difference? By the way, what's a psychiatrist and a psychologist? Are they the same thing? Different things?
A psychologist is someone who studies psychology, but
you're right.
But a psychiatrist is someone who practices sort of like
So I was right.
A psychiatrist can diagnose you. Okay. Like if I have ADHD, I have to go to a psychiatrist and they'll be like, "You have ADHD. Here's some Xanax or whatever the fuck they take."
Good. Okay, I was using it correctly then. Yeah. Cool. So like Sigmund Freud and stuff like that is like psychiatry. Like kind of like
I think it's psychology because they have more to do with theories.
But they do like psychoanalysis, which is basically the birth of psychiatry. I think it's just like psychiatrists are psychologists. Like it's just like the different terms is used for different practices of how you practice. How about a Psyduck?
I think that's a Pokemon, bro.
It's a Pokemon.
I think that's a Pokemon, straight up.
I think that's a Pokemon.
I don't know, man. Like like in regards to what you said, I have gone to counseling. Yeah. And so counseling for me, like they weren't like go meditate, you know what I mean? It was I think in a sense it's more of like a framework of how, at least that's what it is. Like at the top of the list is like having someone that you can pay to listen to your problems,
right? In
a way where, like, you know how the thing I was saying where like we have to put a mask in front of like everyone we talk to. So like you can't completely be transparent with your friends, with your parents, with anyone. Like there's no way. You can only be transparent with yourself, but some people need help with that. Because like they can't have like an honest conversation ever unless someone is like a third party observer who's like unbiased or anything, and that's the role of basically a shrink, right? Is to just listen to that. And another role of a shrink is they have sort of these like frameworks that they've created for you to deconstruct whatever it is you have. So for example, the thing that my psychiatrist or my therapist was like talking about was therapist, yeah. So the thing about my therapist was talking about was so she talked about like, oh, like when you feel this way, some people condition themselves to like respond to stimuli differently. And so what her thing for me was to deconstruct that, to break that apart, to analyze why I respond this way to this thing, or like when I feel this way, why do I do this? You know, why do you smoke a cigarette when you're stressed? Or why do you do this? So there is like it's not scientific, like obviously, but there's a way that they teach you how to you break down this, and then you can, you know, explore yourself and learn about yourself. It's not all like meditation is like a very small part of it. It's just like an exercise they tell you.
I wasn't really talking about the meditation either, though. Just to be clear, like I was talking about like.
Are you talking about the Buddhist thing?
The mentality of like letting things go, like being self-reflective. Like, why do I do this? Like, why am I feeling this pain? And then at the end of the day, they just be like, it's out of your control. Let it go. It'll right,
which is
Buddhism.
But
like that's what I was saying. I don't talk about the meditation.
I think like the comfort that people get though is like, I think it's because it's religion. It's just become like a thing. You know what I mean? That's what it's like you're not gonna really believe in it.
A therapist is atheist church.
Yeah, you're not gonna really believe in it if your parents like drag you.
Literally.
You know what I mean? Like you're like 5, you don't know what the fuck's going on. Your parents drag you to like a temple. You know what I mean? Then you just see it and you're just like, okay.
All right.
Yeah. That's what I think, man. But that was interesting. That was very interesting.
I don't know. Like I don't think I've experienced that problem. Yeah, I've been talking about that the whole day today. Maybe it's a morning thing for me. I can't articulate properly.
Do you prefer shooting a podcast in your morning, my evening? Or
maybe
do you like it the other way?
I think I prefer maybe morning for me, but
really?
I just slept late last night, so I just can't function right now. But
I actually prefer that too. It's kind of nice.
Yeah. I mean, what was I gonna say?
No, you're. No. You got this. No. Let me remind you. You're gonna talk about how
I'm meditating right now.
No. You're like you haven't really experienced sort of this. Yeah, you've never really experienced.
Yeah. I was talking about you know how you're talking about how you can't be fully transparent with someone ever. Like I feel like I haven't ever experienced that. Cause like I think I'm just a straightforward person. I just say things, and
straight.
And I feel like that life would be terrible. That would be torture if I wouldn't be able to say things. And I think if you're finding that as a struggle, like definitely find help. Like that's a problem, definitely.
It's not it's not like I feel like it's not like a thing where it's like, oh, leader, you can't be honest with people. I think that's different. It's like you can't open up. Like
that's what I meant. That's what I meant.
You're locking some part of
that's
yourself.
That's what I meant. Like I open up to everyone, basically. I mean, not obviously have levels to it, and that might be like the performative side of me. But I still have people in my life who I think a majority as well that I just open up to them. Like I just like talk to them about things, and like maybe I won't initiate the discussion, but if you ask, I would tell. And I mean, if you don't have that friend group or community that can be that source of kind of relief for you, I feel like you, first of all, you might have to search out for that community that might be able to listen to you, or obviously, like Findi said, pay for someone to listen to you.
Why do you make it sound like...
I mean,
you make it sound like it's so unnecessary.
I do think a little bit. Like I'm a critique. I'm a yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a critique. I'm not a critique. I'm a critic. I'm a critic.
critic.
I'm a critic that critiques.
I think that's what critics do, bro.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to solve solve the problem that I dug myself into.
Yeah.
But yeah,
you're skeptical of
Yeah, definitely. I don't think it's the answer all the time. I just think it's. I think it's good.
It's there,
if you don't have,
and it's useful for some people.
I think it's good if you don't have anything else.
Yeah.
There's no other option.
Yes.
And I think just because, I mean, I'm talking from a place of privilege in terms of spiritual guidance. Like I was born into like a very open family, as well as like religion, which is like super open and like very like self-reflective. But I feel like a lot of people don't have that upbringing in terms of like a privileged like mentality in terms of like spirituality and stuff like that. So I do think if that's the only option, go for it. I don't no hate at all. It's just, you know, I wouldn't do it personally.
It's just save some money if you can.
Yeah. And you know, like try to open up with your friends. Like you might think that your friends don't want to hear it. You don't, but I think they do. Like, to be honest, if they're your friends, they will probably want to hear about your problems. Like, they do want to be there for you. Like every time, like, I'm sure the majority of us have friends that have always been like, hey, man, like, I'm there for you. Like, whatever the problem is, like, I'm there for you. And, like, I don't, like, to be honest, like, on one side, that might be, like, kind of a performative thing in terms of on their part. They'd be like, you know, like how friends say that to each other. But I do think genuinely, if you reach out for help from them, they will help you. Like, so yeah, use
try
your
best.
Resources well.
Try your best.
Try your best to extend a
with
hand
what's
out
available
to,
to
your
you.
friend. Yeah, exactly. So, because going to a shrink isn't sustainable in the long run. But having friends, like good friends, I think is a sustainable, or like how to open up to friends is a sustainable solution to mental health. Because I mean, maybe I just don't have enough money, but maybe that's not sustainable that way. But I wouldn't want to pay for someone to listen to me my whole life because I can't cope with it with my own circle of friends. Like, I'd hope to make my friends become the therapist for me, or like make my family become a therapist for me, or so on.
There's no one way to deal with it.
Of course,
you know
of
what
course.
I mean? Like
there's multiple ways. Yeah,
everyone experiences everything very differently, and just with whatever you have, just make the best out of it.
Yeah,
I guess, right?
Sure. Yeah, and to close that out, just like, you know, we'd love to hear from you about it. I want to hear your opinions on mental health.
It's actually
comment and stuff like, or DM, like, because like I know mental health is a hot topic right now, and whenever I'd be critical of therapists, a lot of people would shit on my ideas, and you know, I wouldn't mind because it's
like I said, man, there's no one way to deal with anything.
Yeah,
like, exactly, right?
And I mean, like, I'm critical in a positive way. I think it's good that you're taking up all the things that you are taking up, but I feel like you have to be critical of everything. Anyhow, I think this is a good time to wrap it up.
Yeah, I'm just searching up songs before you ask me, do you have your songs ready? I think I got my fucking songs ready, bro.
Well, on this podcast, we like to share music with each other, or you guys as well listening. You know, this is because on the balcony, we literally come each week and we'd share music with each other and be like, yo, listen to this dope shit, man. It's been, you know, every day I walk to class, I listen to this shit, you know, stuff like that. I have 2 songs from the same artist. So first one is Casual Encounters by Beach Fuzz, and the second one is By the River by Beach Fuzz.
Yeah.
It will bring light to
Beach
your
Fuzz
life.
is like, for me, it's Uncut Gems by Daniel Lopatin. It's like the soundtrack to Uncut Gems.
Adam
so fucking
Sandler.
Good, yeah, so fucking. That's the whole album. Literally is like, it's so fucking sick.
Yeah.
And the other
I thought that film was a little much. It was like a lot of shouting.
It was a little much, but the soundtrack.
I think it was a point
amazing.
though. But yeah,
The soundtrack was so good, bro. And another song is called "The Chocolate Conquistadors," and it's by Bad Not Good and MF Doom, and I think it's the last song MF Doom
Oh my god! What?
recorded before he passed.
What? That's crazy.
In like November, I think.
Yeah. No, he recently passed.
Oh no, I think they kept it until recently.
What?
But he passed in. Yeah, he passed in.
I didn't know
November.
that. Damn, that's rough.
It was,
Well, okay.
I was.
Cool. That's some interesting.
That's my
knowledge.
2 songs.
Cool. Thank you, Findi, for talking to me today. Thank you, listeners, for listening to us talk today. I'd love to hear your thoughts on anything we talked about today. Mental health, U.S. politics, Thai politics, so on. We just talk now. I don't know. We don't have a format for this podcast anymore.
Yeah, literally, I accepted the video call, and this guy was just like, "All right, let's film." And I was like, "Okay."
and I don't know. I think it was an organic conversation. I don't. It was
fun.
it.
Yeah.
So thank you, Findi. Thank you, listeners.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.